So it seems that we've got the first very small teaser for the Emperor's Children coming out in 2025. Let's talk about a few fancy shoulder pads and the context and reaction to them. Hello and welcome back to Warspecs Tactics, where today we're talking Emperor's Children once more, and today Games Workshop dropped a surprise preview article with just a tiny little bit of model content, but it certainly seems to have generated a good bit of online discussion, reaction and hype. So let's talk about the teaser and the wider context of how it fits into the Emperor's Children release next year. The teaser itself today was a very small one, but is our first look at any Emperor's Children model parts coming for the grim darkness of the far future. Just randomly dropped in a Warhammer community article as opposed to any sort of big reveal show or anything like that. I feel like they did a similar sort of thing for parts of the Khorne Berserkers sprues once they were releasing World Eaters back in 9th edition, showing us a few early glimpses of some chain axes and things. It looks like it's going to be an ongoing series, as they named the article the Ecstatic Epistle. That reminds me of that Battle Sister bulletin and things that they did when they released new armies, a sort of design development diary. We'll likely start off with a few teasers of model parts, and then they'll go on to talk through some other bits as to entire models, and further things about how they develop the range, all part of their hype for marketing them, of course. Emperor's Children were basically soft confirmed already, from a bunch of previous hints and teasers that we'd had. Codex Chaos Space Marines leaving out their datasheets was probably the single biggest hint. They clarified that Lucius the Eternal and the Noise Marines wouldn't be appearing in that, and instead will be farmed out to their own digital index. The rules for them are a bit restrictive, though it didn't stop them from winning the London Grand Tournament in the hands of Mr. Liam VSL. But they certainly feel a long way from the theme and attention that the other deity legions have got, and hopefully they won't be too far behind catching up. That removal had basically already confirmed that we were going to get Emperor's Children as a release within 10th edition, as we'd seen the exact same thing happen for World Eaters in 9th. Codex Chaos Space Marines comes out, and the iconic Khornate units like the Khorne Berserkers and Khan the Betrayer were missing. For that one they decided to go with a White Dwarf supplement as opposed to a digital one. And then within the same year of that happening, the Codex was released, and World Eaters came out with their own small range, Angron Berserkers, 8-bound, and the Juggernaut Lord. Hopefully the Emperor's Children will have a bit longer to use their Codex within the same edition though. The World Eaters didn't get that long. Unlike the World Eaters, it seems that if they're being revealed this earlier and confirmed for 2025, it seems that the Emperor's Children won't be part of an end of edition campaign as Angron was, and they're coming out for 40k a little bit earlier. We had confirmation that they were coming in 2025 at the last preview show. While we knew that they were likely going to be done at some point, as they'd done with the other deity legions, we didn't quite know when. So confirmation that there's an Emperor's Children logo and then the words coming in 2025 flashing up was a pretty fun little hype teaser. They gave absolutely no other details as to that though, and while we could basically work it out due to the hint of the Chaos Space Marine Codex reveal, technically they weren't really fully confirmed. They could have been doing something like Emperor's Children for Horus Heresy or something if they wanted to engage in a bit of maximal trolling of the community. I guess this one puts any sort of doubt on that front to bed though. The article's titled The Ecstatic Epistle, Mysterious Renders from the 41st Millennium. So yes, it really is Emperor's Children, and they're confirmed to be coming for Warhammer 40k, not Heresy or any of their other specialist games. And as small as the content is, it does count as the first Emperor's Children reveal. Maybe they're trying to emulate the Legion lore and give them a nice, slow, excruciatingly painful release to better appeal to Emperor's Children fans. I don't feel like there's really that much to say about the actual reveals. It's basically a shoulder pad teaser where they showed off 3 of them. They're not actually photos of plastic kits, they're 3D renders, so basically computer generated things. And on them we've got 2 different shoulder pads that are slight variations on the Legion symbol. They were the Legion that were allowed to bear the eagle. I'm sure they'll look all very nice, painted up in psychedelic pink and gold. It looks like compared with a bunch of other pauldrons or shoulder pads and things, they've gone for some nice sharp bladed edges. The one on the bottom right looks all very Slaanesh with that prong sticking out there. And then as well as the 2 Legion ones, they've got the one that's all covered in bonding studs. An extra layer of armour and protection there, I guess. Given the variation on them, they're almost certainly for Noise Marines. The pauldrons look like the right sort of size and shape as opposed to anything for Terminators or similar. And I guess for 40k purposes, they'd be filling a gap that doesn't currently exist. Currently, Noise Marines are represented by this rather sad resin sprue that have bits for their Blastmaster and Doom Siren and things. I guess there are a few shoulder pad bits with sort of whirling speaker grill sort of faces there, and one with a slightly fun bit of flayed skin as well. But these ones look a bit more on the sort of mainstream of what you'd imagine for the rank and file of the Legion to be wearing, perhaps. The Noise Marines are one of the units that people are going to be most hyped to see, I think. They're the most mainline representation for the Legion in Warhammer 40k at the moment. There's the old kit with the older Chaos Space Marines up on the top left with their sort of Blastmaster guitar style thing. In more recent times we also had that limited edition Noise Marine sculpt on the bottom left, and there's some examples of early Noise Marines from the Horus Heresy such as these Cacophony. I guess we might get something that's somewhat similar to the one based on the artwork in the middle here. That one is kind of iconic for them, and I'm sure to be well received if we've got something similar to that. For such a tiny reveal, reaction to the article's been at least fairly big. Taking a look at Games Workshop's socials, and it looks like they've had 700 or so reactions to their Facebook in just an hour or so, dwarfing things like the Christmas Battle Force release announcement this last weekend, which got something like 540 odd upvotes. It's just been a little while since Games Workshop had any major model reveals for Warhammer 40k. Last reveal show we only got the Christmas Battle Forces, which were interesting enough, but not exactly new miniatures. I think people are happy to have any excuse to get hyped about the next thing. Seems that if they're just going with shoulder pads to start with, we'll probably get a very slow reveal process that's quite drawn out. The World Eaters one was maybe disrupted a bit, given that Angron's model leaked out very early last time, which I'm sure they would have considered suboptimal for their whole hype cycle. As mentioned, it sounds like the Ecstatic Epistle might be their name for the series of things talking about their designs, similar to the Battle Sister Bulletin. So I guess we're probably going to get a few more model parts, teasers, and maybe some lore and bits coming next. Then maybe a little bit more exploration of full kits once we actually get them revealed. I'd guess Noise Marines have to be at least kind of soon. I feel like even just showing something off like an individual model teaser could be nice enough. And maybe there's a chance that we get at least one model revealed either at the November preview show in a couple of weeks, or maybe on their Christmas Day reveals. I'm not sure how fast they'll be rushing to those though, given that we've got both Krieg and Eldari to go first. Judging by Games Workshop's slightly weird graphic of things coming in 2025, we've got Guard, then Eldari, then Imperial Knights, the first two getting quite big range releases, so Chaos certainly aren't early in 2025. It's only after that that we have the rather nebulous more codexes, big names, and special Chaos treats. At least some of those Chaos treats have to be Emperor's Children. We know the pattern of what they like to release in these Deity Legions fairly well now. Absolutely 100% guaranteed will be new Noise Marines, Lucius the Eternal, and Fulgrim. Fulgrim likely kind of similar to the transfigured model that we got in Heresy. I guess we'll see how much he is degenerated from this already pretty funky form in 10,000 years or so on a pleasure planet. Otherwise, I'm sure people will be very hyped for new Terminators, though the World Eaters didn't get theirs on the first release. Raised Cultist definitely seems like a strong possibility. That's something that all the other Deity Legions have got. They'll certainly get some sort of generic Lords. Again, all the Deity Legions have got a generic HQ character, at least one. And then there's always possibilities for more weird and wonderful stuff, maybe Slaaneshi demon engines, a possessed alternative like those 8-bound, or maybe a unique Hellbrute or Sonic Dreadnought. We haven't seen a fat lot of unique chapter or legion specific vehicles for 40k though. In any case, should be a good time if you want to collect a legion of Slaaneshi Space Marines. Let me know what you make of the little teaser and the confirmation down in the comments below. Any greater hope for the Emperor's Children when they come out in 2025. Feel free to subscribe to Auspex Tactics if you'd like to see more like this. I'll certainly keep the regular 40k news and updates coming, and I do tend to post new videos most days. Finally, if you have been enjoying all the videos on the channel, I would just like to mention that Auspex Tactics does have a Patreon page as well, and you can find that linked in the video description down below. Channel patrons get a fair amount of advantages, seeing certain videos early, regular votes to see what sort of things happen next on the channel, and automatic entry into the regular prize giveaways with a chance to win some big model kits each month. If any of that sounds good to you, or you'd just like to help support, the link is down in the video description. In any case, a massive thank you for listening, and I'll hope to see you guys next time.